Welcome back, everyone, for another episode on Tales of Crestoria, where I'm just spitting some knowledge all over the place. I'm gonna help you guys a little bit today, helping you know what is the best unit in this game, what is the best SSR unit, and what is the best SR unit. I wanted to do this video because I feel like there's a other streamer or a YouTuber that have been covering this subject a little bit. I felt like it was not really covering all the way that a character could be utilized, and how come some really good unit are actually god tier when used in the proper way. So right from the get-go, I wanted to start with one thing. A lot of people, when they start playing the game, they think that SR character are not really worth it, and they shouldn't really use them, because SSR character just goes up to level 100 and they also can use Mystic Art. That's actually not true. There's a couple of SR units that are actually really worth it to use in some specific situation, and I'll cover those. So, when it comes to the best SSR character, which one is the best? If you watch my last video, you know that one of my favorite character is Leon. The reason why Leon is such a great motherfucking character is that you can easily break the 7,000 or even the 8,000 bar when it comes to attack damage. Right now my Leon has 6.6 thousand damage, but right now my substone grid is actually not that good. Currently I'm working on a substone grid that is a little bit better, utilizing Memoria Stone that are a little bit higher level. I really want to have like 9 Judas here, 9 Judas level 90. That is what I'm hoping for. Also I have richer on Leon and I have richer on Lodger. The reason why Leon can get to such a high level of attack is that Judas just synergizes real well with Leon. They're both dark type, they're both dual sword, so obviously Leon is getting better buff out of that. Also Judas has an insane amount of attack when it comes to this stone. When you compare it to even a stone that are level 100, you don't even get close to our boy here, Judas, that is at 1,800. But this is not the best stone. One you want to get to is really richer. Both Judas and Richter are Memoria Stone you can get from the raid. However, Richter is a little bit harder to get. This Memoria Stone is not level 100, but at a certain point when it's going to be level 100, it's gonna have a little bit more attack. But what you want really is the plus 60% to crit damage to dark allies. This is insane because if you have a full team of dark ally and you have a bunch of Richter, you will get an insane amount of crit damage plus a huge chunk of damage just from Richter. And again, Richter synergizes real well, not only with Leon, but he synergizes super well with Lodger, which are both dual sword type and are both dark. Obviously I'm working on that, I want to get that at a certain point. Getting full substone grid with Judas and 2 Memoria Stone of Richter at level 100, and that's why again Leon is so good. Another god tier character that I would say is Estelle. Again, it's no surprise to everyone. I think a lot of people are using Estelle. She's one of the best healer in the game. Not only because she has one of her spell that is a heal and her mystic art that is a heal, a EO heal on top of that, but with the substone of heal, which if you look at it, doesn't do a lot of things. It has a moderate amount of HP, attack, and defense, but what you don't see is Keel's passive, which helped Estelle a lot getting her mystic art quite often. So again, massive healer, she's getting her mystic art quite often with Keel. And again, that's one of the reasons why I want to do this this video a little bit, taking into consideration the Memoria Stone that is in the game. Not only the character, because if you just look at a character, you will see Velvet, which has the best base attack damage. You will think that she's one of the best units right now. She's actually not really the best unit because there's not a lot of Memoria Stone that will really make Velvet shine. Obviously you think that Julius, which is the Memoria Stone you can get from raid, will help her a little bit, but Julius doesn't give a lot of attack. And if you want to get Richter, yes, you get a lot of attack, but it doesn't synergize real well with Velvet. So there's no Memoria Stone that make her shine really. so that if you compare her to another wind character like Sori would be way much more useful. Obviously his stats are not as impressive, but his attack are a little bit more useful all around. So all around he's a better character because he does burn, he does wildfire, and just does a decent amount of basic damage. So because he has a better kit, he will be better than Velvet, which has a really good amount of base attack, but that base attack is not really utilized as much as other characters, so she's not as good. Also, wildfire is one of the most broken thing in the game. More on that later, but that's kind of one of the reasons why Sori is really good right now. I would say when it comes to SSR character, there's other SSR character that I think are really good. I think Ruti might be one of the best support in the game because she has an amazing defense break. It's an AoE defense break. I think it's really good in pretty much every single circumstance. So I think she's a really good support, regardless of the stone you put on her. So she's just amazing. Again, in the water element too, I think Kanono is really good. She has the Patty Memoir Stone. It could be really good. Some people can get a really good amount of damage out of Kanono. And one last character that I think overall is really good, that I thought was kind of shit at the beginning, is Daos. Daos is the only limited character you could get. I thought at first he wasn't that good because I was not really impressed by the overall stats of his character. But then I saw a video on YouTube of a guy doing 1 million damage with Daos, and kinda changed my mind, not gonna lie. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny smudge. So yeah, definitely it changed my mind. I think what I overlooked the most is the amount of hit he can do. He does an insane amount of hit. Not only that he has a AoE, he has a really good amount of hit that you can get from that AoE, and on the top of that, his Mystic Art just does like 42 hit, which is insane. You can get a really good multiplier of damage with that. It is totally insane. I think it is good in pretty much every single scenario. I'm sorry I said that Daos was shit. It's actually not. I think it's very good. So that's pretty much it for all the all-rounder. But when it comes to more specific situation, like the PvP. Oh yeah, the good PvP. And I want to show off a little bit that I'm in the top 1000 now. So that's good shit. My two favorite SSR and the two that I think everyone should try to get in their team when it comes to PvP is Luke and Kronos. The reason why is that they do AoE, and AoE is just amazing when it comes to cleaving a team. What you want to do as much as you can in PvP is just trying to murder everything and everyone on turn 1. So if you can have Luke and Kronos, or Luke or Kronos, and on turn 1 you want to try to get defense break, a couple of hit multiplier, and then Kronos just cleaving everything, you can get a really good amount of damage. And with that strategy, I think you can get to a really good placement in PvP without really losing any match. Obviously in PvP, so far I think what you should hope if you don't have those characters, just have the best all-around team. Just have a bunch of level 100, have the best stone on them, and have a really good substone grid, and after that you should be good to go. Keep in mind that in PvP you always start first and you're playing against bots, so those are a huge advantage. If your team is not significantly worse, you should be fine in general. I must say my team is not the best, and I still have a win rate ratio that's pretty high, and I would say 89 is actually like lower than what it's supposed to be, because I had an insane amount of a crash this week. If you don't believe me, come on my stream, you will see me crash all the time. So frustrating, but it is what it is. Lastly, SR character. Which one are good? Which one are the one you should really invest in? Because there's a lot of them, and not all of them are good. Actually, a lot of them are shit. But why play any SR character when you could play a bunch of SSR character? Well, there's a couple of reasons why I think SR character is still very useful. And the first one is that it's easier to awaken them as they're more common. So having 1 or 2 SR character, even though you might lose a really good DPS, will give you a bunch of passive that is sometimes really useful. Obviously, you still want to look at arts that are useful. They don't have a mystic art, but sometimes they have a really good arts. Like Senel right now. He's not really one of the most popular one, but he's my favorite one. He's also one of the first character I ever got. So obviously he's kind of my favorite just because of nostalgia a little bit. The reason why I really like him is that on the first turn I can get 13 hits and I can also defense break someone. So that's really useful for me in PvP. I really like that. Well, after that, one of the most obvious pick for a good SR character would be Kanata, because again, it's still pretty good, plus 11% of attack to all allies, so that's really good all around. But not only that, we talked a little bit about the importance of AoE in PvP, and Kanata does just that. He does a decent amount of AoE. Obviously, my skill right now is not level 6. I think you can get a little bit more hits on this skill. Right now it's at 6. I think you can get a little bit more than that. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people play Kanata in PvP. I think he might be good in a lot of things, but I would say overall he's a pretty decent unit when it comes to SR character, even compared to SSR character. Another unit that I saw a lot in PvP is Norma. Norma is really good for another reason, not because her skill is really good, which is more max HP. But the real reason why she shines so much is because she's an amazing support. She has an AoE buff and she has an AoE heal. Those two are insanely good. She's such a great support that not only I would recommend her in PvP, but I would recommend her pretty much all around. I think if you don't have a good healer or a good support, she pretty much can fit those two slots all at the same time. So great character all around. I think Norma is pretty much a character that is not utilized as much as she should, but she's really good. The next one is a character that nobody told me he was good, and I never tried to use him. The reason why I know he's good is that I pretty much got destroyed by this character in PvP, or not destroyed, almost destroyed by this character. Again, I cannot stretch how useful AoE is good in PvP. It is just the best. Not only he does AoE, but he has 50% chance of poisoning all enemy for 3 turns. No 1, not 2, but 3 turns, and that's all enemy. That is straight up insane. He does great damage and poison everyone. At a certain point, I got hit by Diesel, and I thought I was done. I thought it was the end of my PvP. I was able to kill everyone on the other side, but I was super scared. I think Diesel is an amazing character for PvP, and if I have to change my team, I'm fairly sure I'm gonna put it in my team because it is insane. It is just great. So, last but not least, maybe one of the best character right now in the game, including SSR character. Maybe not as good as Estelle, or maybe not as good as Leon, but very high on the list. Emil, an amazing character. And the reason why is that he got Wildfire. And if you don't know what Wildfire is, I can tell you right away, it's something that needs to be nerfed, because it is just that good. Wildfire, what it does is that it targets a single enemy, and after that all the damage that is done to any other enemy will be sent to that first enemy. So if you need a demonstration, here's that. So obviously Wildfire is amazing, but the cooldown of Emil is 2. It is insane. It is good, and the Phantom Tower is not good in raid because there's not more than one enemy, but it's excellent in PvP. It is just so good, especially when you target one enemy and then you have AoE on all the other enemy. You can murder very rapidly in PvP. It is insane. Not only that, but I think his skill is also really good. I think plus 11% of attack when a Dark Allies has 20 hits. I think it is really good when it comes to Chronos. If you match that up with Chronos, you can get a really good amount of attack. And I've seen some people utilizing that really well in PvP. And that is why I think Emil is one of the best SR character. And that's pretty much it for today. Obviously, I didn't have the time to cover every single character. There's still some characters that are really good that I didn't necessarily cover. I really wanted to cover the characters that I thought were the best. Obviously, in the future, there might be some Memorial Stone or some character that might synergize really well with a character that I didn't mention today. But I don't know which Memorial Stone or character will come in the future. But in the future, I might do another video on that. If you are interested in that, I'll definitely keep an eye on this. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitch. It's always a pleasure to see you guys there. And that's pretty much it. Peace!